condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe, okay, to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Also, if you have not been receiving your notifications, please do yourself a favor and double check to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel, because mysteriously people become unsubscribed. All right, now let's see who's in here. I hope you all enjoyed your strong end. All right, hello Juju. Dark Tube is in the virtual building. Jeff ATL, Timothy, All Hell Nah is here. Hadassah. All right, let's get into it. Perplex. All right, Buckhorse DC, Terry. Okay, Vince I am from the UK. Cherokee Descendant Dale, Mel is here. All right. Terry Hinton is here. Okay, so with that all being said, shout out to all of my loyal royals. I see you, Jeff ATL. Vino is here. All right, shout out to all of my loyal royals, everyone tuned into the Queen, and a big shout out to my moderators for putting in work. Before we get started, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so with that all being said, don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. And don't forget that she sells beard oil. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. All right, but before we get into the seriousness of it all, we have to talk about Megan Thee Stallion. Okay, did you all see that meal that she made for Thanksgiving for Clay and his entire family? Did y'all see that? One's in the chat. One's in the chat. If you all saw that spread that Megan made for Thanksgiving, it went viral. Okay, I'm about to show you all this, honey. Because, I mean, I knew Megan can cook because I've seen her before, some of her videos. But, honey, she did this and all by herself. Okay, so lights up. First, I'm going to go to them ragging on Clay's dad when he says that Megan's going to cook. Because apparently they think that she can't cook. The guy that he's talking to.
Who's making your Thanksgiving dinner, Michael? Is Julie making your Thanksgiving dinner?
You don't know this?
No.
You don't. Seriously, you don't know?
No.
It's Megan.
I do hear that.
You told me.
Megan
Really?
V is making the
Yeah.
turkey?
Really?
Yeah. Clay says she's a great cook.
Wow.
You know what you could say to that? Get a bucket and a mop.
Get a bucket and a mop for Thanksgiving.
All black women are good cooks.
There you go.
I like his nerve. He said the thing he can say to that is get a bucket and a mop. Okay, is he serious, honey? That's why his father told him all black women can cook. No, that's not true. All black women can't cook, okay? Because I know one specifically who can't cook. And I'm like, how do you not know how to cook in 2025? Okay? I mean, you can literally watch a YouTube video and get a recipe, right? These days, if you don't know how to cook, that's just you being lazy or just dumb. That's just my opinion. But now, with that all being said, let's go to the video of her putting all this food together.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Make This Thing, aka Hot Girl Coach, and bitch, I am whispering because Clay is still in his food coma from last night. But let me tell y'all about cooking for my man and his family for Thanksgiving. Okay, so this is me getting my greens ready. I had them things cooking overnight. Right here, this is me getting my dressing ready. I do not call it stuffing, babe, because this is dressing. This is a southern thing. Okay, this is me getting my turkey ready, bitch. I already gave it a BBL, injected that thing up last night with all the flavor. This is me getting my roux, my jus, whatever you want to call it, for my mac and cheese ready. I was really nervous because I was like, dang, I'm really finna cook for my man and his whole family. I hope they love this because I got to show them that I really love their son. Okay, so then after that, I started getting my barbecue baked beans ready. And baby, let me tell you, ain't nobody seeing me on barbecue baked beans. If you want to have a conversation, let me know because I'm sure I will win. Okay, so then I had to do my makeup, and then we hurried up and we took all the food over there to the Thompsons. And this is my dressing. This is how my beans came out. This is how all my sides came out. This is how my turkey came out. Mr. Thompson definitely said 10 out of 10. I could easily have on my own restaurant, but I didn't want to record him saying it because I was trying to be respectful. Okay, so then this is Clay. He is so ready to eat. He is tired of hearing me talk. I said, babe, what you thankful for? He said, girl, get to that table. I don't want to hear you no more. This is Jacob. He loaded that plate up because he know what time it is. So then this is the beautiful view. This is all the decorations that I ordered. Everything came out so amazing, and I'm pretty sure everybody loved it. This is my plate. This is Clay plate, and he's ready to get to the business, babe. This is Ferris. He already know how I do, so he already knew food 10 out of 10.
Very cool, baby.
This one, the itis kicked in.
Okay, not the itis. All right. It's so interesting. Okay, so anyway, shout out to Megan, honey, because she can cook. All right, so with that all being said, let's continue. These women can cook these days. I mean, Cardi B can cook too. I don't know about Nikki. I've never seen anything that she's prepared that I can recall. Okay, so now let's talk about this fool. All right, that was hating on Russell Wilson. Now, I like his nerve. Let's get into it. Lights up, everyone, please. A like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go. Let's get into it.
Be having nobody at my house because there's always somebody waiting around with something to say.
Listen, I went to his house for Thanksgiving. The weirdest feel like he catered. So no, you know, like, bro, I come from a traditional country black family.
We doing that.
If I got as much money as Russell Wilson, my whole family would talk about me so bad if I ain't fly everybody out there for Thanksgiving. And I'm sponsored by an airline.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not close to his family.
And maybe he not, but his mama wasn't there, sisters wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even though like it's still weird to me. I'm just still even if you don't fool with your family, like it's still weird to me on Thanksgiving. my family gonna do the food. This is what we gonna. If you the one with the money, we coming to your house. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me
that part.
What's crazy to me is you wasn't with your family on Thanksgiving, and somebody else opened their home to you while you wasn't with your family, and he just looked like the type to show up empty-handed with an empty stomach, not offering nothing but got something to say. Like, I'm just confused because your family ain't want you around. Why did he have to invite you to Thanksgiving dinner? Why you ain't fly your family out? Honestly, I just feel like people always got something to say about Russell Wilson because they cannot understand how this man is in a happy, healthy relationship with his wife and his beautiful children. People talk about Ciara and Russell because they could never. They could never. Talking about the food was catered and you don't understand that. Well, why you ain't cooked something then? Sounds like you came with just your 2 empty hands and left with a full belly.
Okay, I mean, it's the nerve of it all. Let me tell you something. People like that, I don't even entertain them with a confrontation as to why did you say these things about me or whatever. I just don't even say anything else to them. Okay. And the young people today say that ghosting is childish, it's immature. It isn't immature to me because sometimes you don't want to hear the explanation because you already know that no matter what they say, there's no justification as far as you're concerned. And you'd rather just not have anything else to do with the person. And also, you don't want to become angered or annoyed with them trying to lie, gaslight, and deflect to your face because then it gets into a back and forth and things can escalate. So just to save yourself the trouble, honey, just walk away. Like, I don't owe you an explanation. And some people say, well, I need closure. Well, you should have thought about closure and what you would need, okay, before you did what you did, okay? Because most of the time, these people absolutely know exactly what they did to piss you off and to make you just want to not deal with them. If I were Russell, I just wouldn't have anything else to say to him. Okay, no explanation needed. Because that was real low down and dirty. And here's the question. Okay, since he thinks that it's traditional and that's what he says he is, and so the person with the money should fly the whole family out, why didn't he fly his whole family out? Because isn't he, in fact, the one with the money, or is he now broke? Okay, did he squander what he made in the NFL when he was there? Okay, surely he likely did. All right. And then my thing is, you're talking about it's weird, but you were at this man's house for Thanksgiving rather than your own house or with your own family. But that's weird because his family wasn't all there. First of all, does he even know what family is? Because family is considered, in my opinion, the people that dwell within the household. Okay, other people are relatives. Family are the immediate people that live within your household. So what's he talking about? And then he further also said that little Future, baby Future, was bad as hell at the time. So now you're talking trash about the people's kids? Okay, what kind of with people like that, honey? You don't need enemies. At the end of the day, that is a jealous Negro. Okay, and when you have somebody that is jealous of you in your circle, you're playing with fire. Okay, you're playing with fire. Please pay attention. Now, that all being said, let's get into it because who in the hell does Jerry Judy think he is trying to go in on my nephew, Shadur Sanders? Has he lost his cotton picking mind? Okay, has he lost his mind? I find it all interesting. All right. And the reason I say has he lost his cotton picking mind, because he seems to be acting like Kevin Stefanski is his master. Mhm. I think it's something very strange going on with him and Stefanski. Now, I'm still not convinced that he's not dropping these balls on purpose. Okay, I'm still not convinced. What's going on here? Because I promise when he's doing a little skip to Malou, that all looks like he did it on purpose. And then even with the ball that Shador threw him, and it was like he didn't catch it. It went a little too far. I feel like it didn't even look like he was trying to catch it. It didn't even look like he was trying to make an effort. And it also looked like he slowed down his pace. It looked like he slowed down his pace to me. Okay, I don't know. Was he playing hopscotch or what? But he had the nerve to try to go in on Shador. But funny thing is, I've never seen him go off on Dylan Gabriel. Okay, I've never seen him go off on Dylan Gabriel, Flacco either, but specifically not Dylan Gabriel. Okay, that's what I haven't seen. But he wants to try to talk trash to nephew. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, let's get into it. Likes up. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Jerry, I like to play hopscotch at the 32-yard line with the fucking football. Judy, to the front of the fucking classroom right now. Right now. I see you on the sideline clapping at Shakur like he's not the one playing his ass off this whole entire fucking game. Why didn't you clap at yourself when you decided to do double dutch in a fucking professional football game? Were you clapping at the sideline trying to show somebody up there? You're a vet, nigga, and you sitting up here yelling at this young dude that's trying to learn a playbook that he's only had access to for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, a week and a half. You trying to pretend like you, gang, if you're a vet, you're going to coach that man. You're not going to try to show him up and yell at him on the sideline like you the fucking coach. You a grown-ass NFL receiver, been in the league for 6 years. You still can't catch 50-50 balls. You was doing that. Do you got this same energy with Dylan Gabriel?
Nope. He certainly does not. Okay? He certainly does not. All right? But I tell you one thing. I'm glad Shakur stood up. When he's standing over Shakur talking ish, I'm glad Shakur stood up. And when Shakur stood up, his energy changed too. Okay, please pay attention. Honey, he needs to sit down somewhere. Okay, he needs to sit down somewhere. I think that he was just pressed because he was so embarrassed last week, how he went viral for that fumble. Okay, everybody was ragging on him, and people were saying he needs to have an investigation into whether or not he's gambling because it looks like he did it on purpose. It does look like he did it on purpose, really. And then now I think now he wants to try to show out on Shakur, to get the heat off of him. But don't try to blame it on Shakur because you're not catching these balls or you're dropping these balls. Okay, which it looks like you're doing it all on purpose, just stupid stuff.
It's gonna take time to be able to develop that chemistry with everybody, to be on the same page with Jerry. Of course you want to be able to get on the ball, but you gotta understand it take time. I'm more of a trust person, and that's just what it boiled down to. So we have to spend time on task and with all those guys.
All right, y'all saw that. Nephew looked at him like, man, if you don't get out of my face with that BS, okay, I don't care about what you're saying. At the end of the day, honey, don't get it twisted, okay, because Shakur is smiling all the time and he's nice and laid back. At the end of the day, that's still primetime son, okay? You're not going to chump him off. All right, sit down somewhere, honey. He thought he was really doing it. I find it also interesting. Please pay attention. Okay, Judy, the nerve of you. Okay, Judy, the nerve of you. Okay. Honey, do I need to come out to Cleveland real quick? Because I will. Might have to go out there and give Judy a piece of my mind, honey. Pay
Before I
attention.
tweet, why is garbage Judy yelling at Shakur about throwing him the ball? You decided not to go for that ball. We ain't forget that you was frolicking with the fairies last week, gang. You lucky you got the ball in the first place. They saying he's mad about this, the ball being overthrown. Gang, you don't even stretch out your body to catch the ball. You don't put your hands out. You jogging. You ain't even attempt to grab it. I know high schoolers that would have dove for that. Nigga, Google says that you're not even in the top 30, bro. You're a low-tier wide receiver disrespecting your QB because you don't want to go for it. Steven Smith was right about you. You average. You're not even diving. You didn't even attempt to get to the ball, bro. And you over here snapping, yelling like you the main man to save the day. When Dylan Gabriel was throwing you 3-yard passes and interceptions, where was this crying? Where's all this snapping? You was nowhere to be found. Last week when you was playing with the Pixies, well, who fault was that? Go back to frolicking with the fairies.
No, he didn't. He told him to go back to frolicking with the fairies, honey, okay? I absolutely love it. And that's what he needs to be told. Because who does he think he is? The nerve of him. But the thing is, he's friends with Dylan Gabriel, from what I hear. Okay, Blessed One said that he literally hangs out with Dylan Gabriel. They go out to eat stuff and all that. So that's his buddy. Okay, they may have a bromance or something for all we know, but at the end of the day, maybe that's why he's giving Shakur a hard time. Okay, and dropping Shadur's balls and all of that. Okay, this is a whole hater. Just a whole hater, honey. Queen Sam said, not frolicking with the fairies. I know, honey, I'm through. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, now let's get into it about Trump. Oh my goodness. First of all, let me show you all this video of this woman who was assaulted and she was then detained by ICE. It says, and I saw this morning when I went on X. Hold on. It says, ICE detains young woman who came to the courthouse to report being sexually assaulted, and she hasn't been heard from since. They say she's a victim of assault. This is what witnesses are telling the agent, and you're arresting her. This is all just a whole hot mess. At the end of the day, what is wrong with ICE? What is wrong? Some of these people, I know that Trump is telling people to do certain things, but out of humanity, empathy, and sympathy, or just being a person with dignity, why would you engage in doing what Trump is telling you to do? I mean, we know Trump's the devil. We expect him to do stuff like this.
I got it in my hand.
He's harassing and assaulting.
Bro, why you grabbing her so fucking tight? You're a big ass fucking man. You can't hold her.
She's a victim of sexual assault, and you're arresting her and doing that for her.
Fucking piece of shit, dude. What a piece of shit, dog.
My nothing will be Mario. Mario, B-A-R-I-O.
And now she's not been seen or heard from. Now they're saying she hasn't been seen or heard from since. I find that all interesting. Okay, it's no telling what's going on. You know, I'm starting to think, and I already have been thinking, but now I'm even more so starting to think that there's some type of trafficking possibly going on, in my opinion. Okay, how would we know? Just think about it. How would we know? When they're snatching these people up and they're saying they're shipping them back to their country, or in some cases, not even their own country of origin. Okay, how do we know where these people are, what's really happening to these people? What if these people are coming up missing? What if these people are being trafficked or something? It is something nefarious going on. Let's not forget what Tara Rhodes said when she exposed the whole scam, okay, in 2023, right? When she said that they were trafficking people, specifically those children. Honey, I don't put anything past these people. This is all just very strange. Okay, because why is she being arrested? At the end of the day, why isn't it, rather than arresting her, why isn't he asking her for descriptions? A description of who did it, or where it happened, what happened, or just why is he not gathering intel on the accusations that she's saying, rather than locking her up, putting her in cuffs? Like, it's all crazy. At the end of the day. But let's continue, because they have been protesting Trump. They had veterans protesting Trump. Everybody's just like so sick of him, wants him out of office. Okay, a bunch of people had this remove the regime. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. And then we got to talk about Pam Bondi, because there has been more calls for her and Lindsay Halligan's disbarment. All right, let's get into it. I mean, it was a beautiful sight. It was a beautiful sight for me to see all these people out here going in with signs saying F Trump. Okay, impeach him. I love it. His own people too.
Oh, this is the best part. This is the best part.
No, I found that absolutely nefarious. Okay, they had the bagpipes out there for Trump. They had the bagpipes out there for him. But Trump brought this on himself. Okay, Trump brought this all on himself. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go.
Broke out in Washington. This is breaking news. A very large rally just broke out in Washington, D.C., called Remove the Regime and Impeach Mr. Donald Trump. Get him out. Thousands of people are protesting right now. This is happening at the National Mall. They are demanding Mr. Donald Trump be impeached and removed from office. And a bunch of veterans yesterday who were parading around are now in this protest. This is really big news because it just happened out of nowhere. And I think in 2026, when the midterms come around, and when all the blue wave comes into tsunami and everything else, I really do think that Mr. Donald Trump will be impeached and removed from office, especially now that all the Republicans are starting to see and come and join the Democrats, just like with this major Epstein vote and the files. All the Republicans joined except one. I think the occupants of the White House are going to get kicked out. They're done.
Didn't I tell you all it was all falling apart for Trump and his nefarious regime? Okay. I find it all interesting. Y'all see this? Don't y'all think y'all need to be out there? Reggie said, look at him. Where are my people at home? Reggie, y'all need to get out there and help the good white folk. They're out there fighting the good fight. Okay, y'all need to get out there too. Y'all heard the man the other day. He said, black men, we need you.
Of multiple campaigns in this country, from Kosovo to Cuba, the Desert Storm, to Iraq II, to Afghanistan, and even Vietnam. Our country called us to serve, and when they did so, we took an oath to the Constitution.
Only 30 people here.
I need to remind the guy sitting in the White House that no one took an oath to you. I need to remind our active duty and guard and reserve siblings in arms that you took the same oath that we took. An oath to the Constitution.
Now, these are veterans going in on him. Okay, so please pay attention. This is serious. Okay, Naya says, happy Monday, everybody. Thank you, beloved, and happy Monday to you. Thanks for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. I appreciate you. Okay, this is what Trump has brought the country to. Okay, the young people, the people that once, just were so crazy about him, just would listen to any sort of foolish rhetoric that he spewed. Well, they effed around and found out. Okay, they effed around and found out, and now here they go. Okay, I think this is Tizzy. Now, I'm not talking about Tizzy, but I'm talking about a lot of these MAGA members. A lot of these people voted for Trump thinking that whatever he did was not going to affect them, rather black and brown people, okay, illegal immigrants, what have you. They didn't think that it was going to negatively impact them. And now they see that it's costing them money. They're seeing that they're losing jobs and all of this. They are not going to be able to afford health care. Now it's a problem. And everybody wants to reverse course. Okay, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, because the real reason Marjorie Taylor was so upset, like I told you all, is because of Trump not supporting or endorsing her run for senator, but also because her own kids were going to lose the subsidies that they were getting under the Affordable Care Act.
This week, our sitting veterans in Congress reminded the service members of that very same thing. People who served in uniform and now serve in Congress told our service members to remember their oath. And the response from the White House was to call that sedition and to threat to hang them. To our fellow veterans in Congress, we got your six. Do not back down. Do not be threatened by this wannabe tyrant. Do not be threatened by this wannabe dictator. Hold the line.
All right, y'all heard that, honey. He said, hold the line, honey. They said, black people, where y'all at? Anywho, hundreds of military veterans gather in D.C. to hammer fascist Trump, they say. Let's get into it. Oh, and let me just remind you all that Pete Hegseth is running scared. Do you all hear me? Pete Hegseth is running scared, honey, because they got receipts on him and invoices that he gave the order to kill everybody, including those survivors. That is a war crime, okay? That is an act of war, all right? Or a war crime, basically. All right, so he is in big trouble, honey. And he's sitting there talking about it's all fake news. Oh, it's not fake news, boo-boo. You're going down. I want y'all to pay attention, honey. This is all going bad for them. And I absolutely believe it. I told you all it was going to backfire. And look at God. Look at God. But let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance.
Listen to some of the speeches. This is a just wanted to pop in. The speeches are still going. We are out here in front of Union Station. I've taken a bunch of footage. I've listened to some of the speeches. This is a veterans specific rally protesting against Donald Trump and the fascism and the authoritarianism. There's been some great speeches. What I'm going to do, though, is feature one, and that was the introduction from a guy you've maybe seen online on Instagram or TikTok. He's across platforms. I think he just started a YouTube channel, Jolly Good Ginger, the only content creator in this space that I've ever been mistaken for. And he gave some what I think are very poignant, very accurate remarks that I want to share with you.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward past some of that because we just listened to him and I mistakenly called him Tizzy. I always get Jolly Good Ginger and Tizzy mixed up. I don't know why, but that's Jolly Good Ginger, okay, that we heard speaking just moments ago.
If there's time and if people are interested, I might run around and talk to some people. But this is important. If you're a veteran, I think this will resonate with you. And even if you're not a veteran, it should absolutely resonate with you. So here is the introduction to what is taking place behind me and Jolly Good Ginger.
I'm going to give you guys some military history. If you just noticed, after we posted the colors, I inverted the American flag. For those of you who don't know, flags have long been a method of communication in the military. According to United States Title Code, an upside-down flag should only be flown in cases of extreme danger to life or property. If a military base reversed their flag and you were to see that, you would know that they are probably under siege. I reversed this flag here today because our country is in distress. We have a fascist in the White House. He has a Republican Congress who does his bidding, a Supreme Court who kisses his ass, and he rules the executive branch he rules by executive order rather than legislation. That's authoritarianism. So today we've gathered veterans from around the country to call for the impeachment, conviction, and removal of that fascist.
All right. And they said the removal and conviction of that fascist. Okay. Now, with that all being said, on to the next video. Terry Hinton said a true fascist. Right. But always talking trash about someone else.
This is breaking news. A very large rally just broke out in Washington, D.C. called Remove the Regime and Impeach Mr. Donald Trump. Get him out. Thousands of people are protesting right now. This is happening at the...
Okay, I already showed that video. My mistake. Hold on. Let's go to this next one. They want Trump up out of here. The quickness.
Fuck Donald Trump! Fuck Donald Trump! Fuck Donald Trump! So we took an oath to the Constitution. I need to remind the guy sitting in the White House that no one took an oath to you. I need to remind our active duty and guard and reserve siblings in arms that you took the same oath that we took. An oath to the Constitution.
And support a tyrant who attacked our own citizens with our own military personnel. I call them false patriots. And I would say that they're betraying their oath. I always honored my oath to the Constitution. This administration has got a blueprint for destruction of our freedoms and our democracies.
Fuck Donald Trump! Fuck Donald Trump!
So, black people, once in the chat, if you think you need to be out there fighting with them, once in the chat, if you think you should be out there fighting with them, put a 1. If not, put a 2. If you think you should be out there fighting with them, put a 1 in the chat. If not, put a 2. D Major, how many times are you going to put a 1? Tell y'all something. Vince, I am put a 3. Vince, please sit down. First of all, Vince is in the UK. Okay, okay. So you didn't have a dog in the fight. And then everybody's putting in 2s. The only person who put in a 1 is D Major. Nene said, see you later, D Major. And then D Major kept putting his 1 in, trying to make it look like other people were putting in a 1. So nobody wants to help? Wow, y'all are dirty. Y'all are low down and dirty. Black people, y'all need to go out there and help. That's okay, D Major. Me and D Major are going out there and join the fight. Me and D Major will go out there and join the fight. Wish us luck, beloveds. Y'all know darn well I'm not going out there because I don't protest for anything, okay? Miss me with it. But anywho, let's continue. Let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please. A like and share. Thank you in advance. Queen, I'm minding my business, says Bronx Flap Our God. I know that's right, honey. And I'm doing the same, beloved. Minding my
I had
own
actually
black
forgotten
business.
about this moment, but I see everybody's been sharing it on social media. Yet the guy who attacked the Veterans March at Capitol Hill, I was second. He assaulted the reporter or whoever that was, and then if you see in the video, I'm the guy in the white hat and the green shirt that lunges at him to get him out of the way. Not my first time I've almost had to knock somebody out in Washington, D.C., but then I remembered I got all of this on Facebook Live. So here's my angle of the incident.
fucking asshole.
Yo, chill out.
Damn, bitch. 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 Grab.
Sorry, I'm about to let him fuck that up. Now, while I will admit this does not happen often, it does happen, and it only takes one person to cause a lot of physical harm to people in a crowd. So I'm glad the cops were there before the guy got fucked up. But they were there, and they were there quick. So it was all.
All right. Moving right along. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. All right, so now let's get into it. Schumer accuses Trump of pushing towards a foreign war with Venezuela. Well, we already figured that out. Okay, we already figured that out weeks ago, right? And then let's not forget how Trump warned Venezuela he wanted their airspace closed amid the so-called cartel crackdown. So let's talk about it. I'm going to go to the footage. But before I do, let's talk about Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. Now, he issued a sharp warning Saturday about President Donald Trump's posture toward Venezuela, accusing him of edging the U.S. closer and closer to another costly foreign war without congressional approval. In a blistering statement, Schumer criticized Trump's recent escalation toward Venezuela and argued that the president had appended the Constitution, saying President Trump's reckless actions towards Venezuela are pushing America closer and closer to another costly foreign war. Under our Constitution, Congress has the sole power to declare war, not the president, and Congress has not authorized the use of military force against Venezuela. We already know Trump doesn't care about congressional approval, okay, or their authority. All right, so I told you all that a myriad of times. Now, the minority leader cautioned the president to avoid entering into another overseas conflict, writing that Americans are tired of endless foreign wars that cost the lives of countless American service members and drain precious resources. Okay, this is absolutely true. This is not an America first policy, he added. Schumer called for bipartisan pushback, urging his colleagues in Congress to come together to return the power to declare war back to the people. I don't understand why Congress is just sitting idly by and allowing these things to happen, knowing that this is not the policy. This is not, how it's lawfully supposed to be done, which further makes me feel like many of these Democrats are in on the whole thing that Trump is doing, and they're all just working together in concert and unison. Because why hasn't he already been impeached? Okay, what happened to them using Article 2? So the New York Democrats' comments came after Trump wrote on Truth Social that Venezuela's airspace should be considered closed in its entirety, saying to all airlines, pilots, rug dealers, and human traffickers, please consider the airspace above and surrounding Venezuela to be closed in its entirety. Now, the post came a week after the Federal Aviation Administration warned airlines of a worsening security situation in the area. While speaking to U.S. service members on Thanksgiving, Trump said the U.S. will very soon begin stopping suspected Venezuelan rug traffickers by land. Now, in recent weeks, you've been working to deter Venezuelan rug traffickers, of which there are many. This is what Trump said. And of course, there aren't too many coming in by sea anymore. Have you probably noticed that? He says. Because he's trying to act as though all of these airstrikes killing all these people. Well, of course, many of these people are innocent people just trying to, work, make a living. So I'm sure they're scared to go out and try to fish. So the president added that rug traffickers kill hundreds of thousands of people a year in the U.S. From the poisons they bring in. Trump has not dismissed the idea of sending American troops into Venezuela, stating on November the 17th that he hasn't eliminated that possibility. So as to whether he ruled out troop deployments, he said, no, I don't rule out that. I don't rule out anything. But on Friday, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth defended the Trump administration's strikes on alleged rug vessels in the Caribbean Sea, saying, as we've said from the beginning and in every statement, these highly effective strikes are specifically intended to be lethal kinetic strikes. This is what he posted on X. Okay, the declared intent is to stop lethal rugs, destroy narco boats, and kill the narco terrorists who are poisoning the American people. Every trafficker we kill is affiliated with a designated terrorist organization. Hegseth's statement followed reports from multiple news outlets, including the Washington Post and CNN, that claimed the U.S. military ordered a second strike on a suspected rug vessel in the Caribbean on September the 2nd after the initial attack left 2 survivors. And they say, as usual, he says, this is Hegseth speaking, says, as usual, the fake news is delivering more fabricated, inflammatory, and derogatory reporting to discredit our incredible warriors fighting to protect the homeland. Please. Now, House Armed Services Committee Chair Mike Rogers and Ranking Member Adam Smith issued a joint statement Saturday reiterating that the committee is committed to providing rigorous oversight of the Department of Defense's military operations in the Caribbean, saying we take seriously the reports of follow-on strikes on boats alleging to be ferrying narcotics to the Southcom region and are taking bipartisan action to gather a full accounting of the operation in question. This is what the lawmakers wrote. So, of course, when they reached out to the White House, there was no comments, as would be expected. But, you know, Hegseth is really facing a lot of scrutiny behind this. Okay? Really facing a lot of scrutiny behind all of this. And just more and more lies is all they're giving. Oh, and also, this is what I found interesting as well. So the veterans, or not the veterans, but the National Guards who got shot, there's reports, supposedly, allegedly, I can't confirm or deny, that there was evidence thrown away at the scene. Now, which that is very unusual, because that's not protocol. No evidence is supposed to be discarded until after it's been evaluated to see if it, gives any sort of benefit to solving the crime. So let's get into it, because I find this all interesting. Likes up, everyone, please like and share, because what's really going on. And let's not forget that I told you all that James Lee, whose TikTok has now been deleted, came out right after these guards were shot and said that their names were Googled over in that other country that we know we're not supposed to be saying anything about. Okay. Now, I don't know what all that meant, if it meant anything, but I just know that's what he said. And now his TikTok account is gone. Find it all very interesting.
Why did the investigators of the DC shooting of 2 National Guards members put evidence in the trash? I'm a forensic scientist and a former CSI, and this gray piece right here, that is a piece of planter full of bullet holes, and it was left in the trash. Here's a closer image, and you can see there are 2 bullet holes on this piece of planter. It was placed in the trash, and there's a used latex glove over here as well. Here's the shot up piece of planter in the trash can. The scene is open to the public. This is a reporter touching that piece of evidence. And this is the trash can. It's a part of one of these gray planters over here. These are the planters, and you can see this is at the scene of the shooting. And there were a couple of planters that did in fact have bullet damage. You can see here where that chunk of planter has been cut out, sawed out, and then placed in the garbage. And then just left there once the scene was cleared. It's not clear to me who processed the crime scene. It could have been the FBI evidence response team. It could have been the DC Forensic Science Center CSIs, who are city police employees, or it could have been a combination of the FBI and the DC Forensic Science Center. This is not technically wrong, but it is bad practice in my opinion. In criminal investigations, we don't actually need to collect bullet defects. We need to take photographs of them. We need to take measurements of them. We place trajectory rods in them. We capture 3D laser scans of them so we can reconstruct the scene, but we don't need to physically cut them out and take them with us. Why they cut it out and then put it in the trash on a public street where it was accessible to the public and to media, that boggles my mind. I'm not sure why anybody would do that. If they cut it out and decided later that they didn't need it, they shouldn't have disposed of it in this way. Maybe it was a city maintenance worker who cut it out and disposed of it. It's just bad practice. I personally would never have left my own used gloves on a crime scene. I always took my trash with me, and I would never have left my labeling stickers like this on a crime scene. I always picked them up and took them with me when I left. But some of the bullet damage does have to remain. I mean, this is a big planter that has a bullet defect in it, and there's not a really good way for crime scene responders to collect it. And there's not really a reason to do that because, again, all that needs to be done is photographic documentation, measurements, and trajectory. You don't need to have the physical item in this particular instance. But if you don't collect the evidence, you run a risk of something like this happening, where a reporter goes out and takes pictures of this evidence and puts it on the internet. It just does not look good at all. So, did they put evidence in the trash? The short answer is no, not.
So she said, in short, did they actually put evidence in the trash? She said no. Okay, something about the bullet defects or whatever, but I have questions because why would they even do any of it? Okay. So that all being said, what do you all think about Pete Hegseth? Okay, what do you all think about him as far as consequences? What do y'all think about it at the end of the day? Says Trump's approval rating was going down, way down. Then these military people were murked. Coincidence, huh? Well, I don't think any of this stuff is a coincidence, beloved. I really don't. But I think that some of it is karma. All right. That's what I think. I think some of this is karma. Now, with that all being said, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Let's continue because here's the thing. They have more calls for Pam Bondi to be disbarred. And then also, Judge Chutkin has several questions and wants the expedited process on Epstein, or he orders the expedited process on the Epstein files. Okay, he wants it right away. So a new Freedom of Information Act lawsuit is forcing the Justice Department to defend its handling of the so-called Epstein files, a sprawling set of records from the federal investigation of Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the suit brought by the Democracy Forward Foundation argues that the government has sidestepped its legal obligations by delaying responses to requests that implicate both the administration's transparency promises and ongoing public concern about the extent of Epstein's ties to influential figures. Okay, this is all interesting. Now, with that all being said, why is this important? Why does it even matter? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Despite being framed as a routine records dispute, the lawsuit over files related to Epstein, a financier and convicted ex-offender who was federally charged with trafficking girls and then died in a New York jail cell in 2019 while awaiting trial. And I'm glad they said died. They didn't say he took himself out. Okay. So anyway, has become a test of the Trump administration's transparency, okay, that they have pledged the Justice Department's credibility as well and public confidence in the handling of one of the most politically charged investigations in recent memory. So early in President Donald Trump's second term, officials publicly suggested a list of Epstein's clients existed, but the DOJ and FBI declared in July that an exhaustive review had found none. Democracy Forward's Freedom of Information suit presses for disclosure of the government's internal communications to determine whether political considerations influence the shift in the Justice Department's stance. Okay, because they said one thing, then turned around and told us something else. Pam Bondi said right there and said that the files were on her desk, that she had reviewed them, and that there was nothing in there that she had seen that would allow her to bring charges on anyone else. But then just a couple of weeks ago, Trump told her to dig up some dirt on Bill Clinton and other prominent Democrats, okay, and to see if they could have any charges brought forth. So she's currently supposedly investigating, but you already told us, honey, months ago that there was no charges to be brought. Okay, so the lies continue. Now, with that all being said, with reporting that Attorney General Pam Bondi told Trump his name appears in the files. Yeah, because remember, they said Trump's name was in there like 2,032 times, okay? Recent immunity protected meetings with convicted Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell and a DOJ memo asserting that no further releases were appropriate or warranted. The case now carries stakes, each that reach far beyond paperwork. It touches victims' trust, the administration's accountability, and the public's ability to understand how and why the government made its decisions. So Democracy Forward is a nonprofit legal organization in Washington, D.C. that litigates for government transparency as well as accountability, often using Freedom of Information Act and administrative law challenges to scrutinize federal actions. So on August the 8th, it filed a complaint seeking the court ordered expedited processing of several Freedom of Information Act requests submitted to the DOJ and the FBI. Now, the organization said in the suit that the requested records, which concern senior officials' communications about Epstein, agency review processes, and references to Trump must be released quickly because of an extraordinary need to inform the public about the Trump administration's handling of this Epstein matter. They say U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan agreed, that an expedited review was warranted in large part. In an opinion, she found that the subject met the regulatory standard for issues involving widespread and exceptional media interest in which there exist possible questions about the government's integrity that affect people's or the public's confidence. She ruled that most of Democracy Forward's requests qualified for accelerated processing through portions were deemed overbroad. So the Freedom of Information Act requests seek clarity on the Justice Department's shifting public posture toward the Epstein files. And during the 2024 campaign, Trump said that he would have no problem releasing what many believed to be a list of Epstein's alleged clients. Now, in February, Bondi appeared to affirm those expectations, telling reporters that the list was sitting on my desk right now for review. That's been a directive by Trump. A directive by President Trump. Now, in July, the Justice Department reversed course. The FBI and DOJ said in a memo that after a systematic review of the records, including searches uncovering more than 300 gigabytes of data and physical evidence as well, they found no incriminating client lists and no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals. The agencies concluded that no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. Until just a couple of weeks ago, remember. This shift, Democracy Forward argues, intensified public scrutiny and raised concerns about political interference. Now, the organization's complaint cited reporting that Bondi briefed Trump in May that his name appeared in the files. Now, the Justice Department later met with Maxwell, Epstein's convicted co-conspirator, granting her what outlets described as limited immunity in exchange for discussions with senior officials. And so Democracy Forward, soon after, Maxwell was transferred to a lower security facility. Now, Democracy Forward says these developments underscore the urgency of public access. And the group argues that pending decisions affecting Maxwell's legal status could permanently impact her willingness to publicly disclose information on the government's handling of the Epstein matter. Chutkan emphasized that her ruling concerned only the process, not the content of the records at issue. Still, her order ensures that the Justice Department cannot rely on administrative delay to avoid producing responsive documents. Now, the dispute reflects broader tensions between the public's demand for visibility into a high-profile investigation and the government's stated obligation to protect victim identities and sealed material. Ooh, so hey, this is a whole lot. I'm not going to read all of this, but basically what Chutkan's ruling means is that the Justice Department and the FBI must fast-track Democracy Forward's Freedom of Information Act requests, begin producing internal communications right away about the government's handling of the Epstein files and justify any redactions or withholdings under the Freedom of Information Act. So if they think they're just going to start removing the Republicans' names and getting rid of stuff and all of that, just blacking everything out with no questions asked, oh no, the judge is like, y'all going to have to explain and give a very thorough reason as to why these things have been redacted. Now the agencies must clarify which parts of the request they considered overbroad, provide rolling releases of documents, and report their progress to the court. If disputes arise over exemptions or delays, the judge can order further disclosures or conduct private review of contested records. All right, so the judge has questions. I'm telling you all, they're going down for this. They're going down because Pam Bondi, girl, what were you thinking, honey? There's no way I would have put my law license on the line for that. Absolutely not. And then they say Pam Bondi's under pressure after the worst week ever. Let's get into it. Not the worst week ever. Yep, that's what they called it. Attorney General Pam Bondi enters the Thanksgiving weekend facing mounting scrutiny after a series of legal and political setbacks converged into her most challenging week since taking office. The development spanned federal court rulings, internal Justice Department turbulence, and renewed questions over politically sensitive prosecutions, all while the department continues to pursue high-profile criminal investigations. Okay? So after a cascade of courtroom setbacks, internal disputes, and public criticism, Bondi is now facing new questions about the Justice Department's handling of politically sensitive cases and its broader institutional stability. A judge's decision to void 2 high-profile indictments because the prosecutor was unlawfully appointed, that would be none other than Lindsay Halligan, nullifying the cases on procedural rather than evidentiary grounds has become a focal point in concerns over the department's governance. Now, the ruling comes amid renewed scrutiny of alleged prosecutorial missteps from politically aligned attorneys taking on cases career staff declined to filings later faulted by courts as inaccurate. Basically full of lies and deceit, just a whole bunch of BS, trumped up allegations and all. Related ethics complaints have sparked calls for disbarments, and a separate criminal contempt inquiry naming senior officials has fueled fears that court orders were ignored. This is all so bad, and I love it. Okay, together, these developments have intensified long-standing worries about politicization and weakening procedural safeguards within the department. I mean, what were they thinking? Even as the DOJ rolls out major enforcement actions, this week's events show a widening gap between the administration's push for aggressive prosecutions and the court's increasing willingness to push back. Now, the biggest blow came Monday, November the 24th, when U.S. District Judge Cameron McGowan Curry dismissed the Justice Department's indictments against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. In her ruling, Curry found that acting U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan, appointed by Bondi in September, was unlawfully appointed because the Attorney General no longer had authority to install an interim U.S. Attorney once the statutory 120-day appointment window had expired. Now, with that limit breached, only the district court could have made a lawful appointment. Curry concluded that all actions flowing from Ms. Halligan's defective appointment are hereby set aside, including both indictments. The dismissals were issued, leaving the door open for possible re-indictment. Comey said this in a video statement that the decision ended a prosecution based on incompetence, and malevolence. Meanwhile, James said that she remains fearless in the face of these baseless charges. Bondi, speaking to Memphis the same day, said the department would take an immediate appeal and pursue all available legal action. Now, the ruling did not determine whether the prosecutions constituted vindictive targeting of Trump critics, a question several judges had been examining, mind you. Halligan was the only prosecutor to present either case to the grand jury, and this was an unusual arrangement given that grand jury presentations in major federal cases are typically handled by career assistant U.S. attorneys rather than a newly installed political appointee. Not newly installed. Normally, these matters involve a team of career prosecutors whose participation provides internal oversight and helps insulate charging decisions from political pressures. Now, while the secrecy of grand jury proceedings prevents direct public confirmation, the indictments themselves, signed solely by Halligan, and related court filings made clear that no career prosecutors were involved. A fact that further amplified questions about procedure and authority. So Bondi also faced new criticism over the Comey case after former Trump White House lawyer Ty Cobb in televised commentary argued that both Bondi and Halligan should be disbarred. Like I told you all, and they will. Now, Cobb accused Bondi of submitting court affirmations that he claimed were untruthful. though he did not identify any specific filing or explain what statement he believed to be false. No court ruling or publicly available filing has substantiated the allegation, leaving Combs' charge as an opinion rather than a documented account of misconduct. Now, Cobb was reacting to revelations that the grand jury that indicted Comey had not reviewed the final version of the charges, an issue now before the court. The concern is substantial. Federal rules require that a grand jury vote on the exact charges that prosecutors intend to file, and prosecutors may not materially revise an indictment after that vote. Okay, which is exactly what she did. Okay, remember, she showed the first indictment, they weren't going forward, and she left out and came back with a whole nother indictment. And they were wondering, remember, the judge was wondering how she did all of that in the span of 7 minutes, and then got everybody to vote and everything. Come to find out they didn't vote. She just got the jury foreman and one other person possibly to sign off on it, which is not how you do it. So if the version submitted to the court differs from the version the grand jury actually saw, the legitimacy of the indictment itself is put in doubt. And so it was not legitimate, because that's exactly what happened, according to reports. So a federal magistrate judge separately cited investigative missteps, pointing to potential Fourth Amendment problems, such as questions about whether investigators obtained or executed search warrants properly, and to irregularities in the grand jury process, including concerns about whether evidence was presented in the required manner and whether jurors had access to the full final set of materials they were supposed to review, which they clearly did not. Like I said, the foreman and then one other person. Now, these kinds of issues are significant because improper searches can lead to key evidence being suppressed, and procedural defects in grand jury presentations can undermine the validity of an indictment itself. Okay, so I'm not going to read all of this. The bottom line is Lindsay and Bondi told a whole bunch of lies. Bondi retroactively signed her name, trying to make it look like they had not let the statute of limitations pass. Okay, we know Halligan did her little shady stuff in there with the grand jury. Okay, and at the end of the day, they're all just busted. Okay, bottom line is they're all just busted. At the end of the day, the judges already had several questions and didn't believe what they were saying. And now when they ask for the proof, when the judge wants the receipt and you only give him a portion of it, and then try to stall and, just saying things that really are not adding up. Well, now they know that they absolutely know that you lied now. No question about it. Okay, no question about it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about Trump, because Trump claims that he gave Maduro an ultimatum. Let's get into it. Likes up. Everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go. So Trump gave Venezuelan dictator Maduro stern ultimatum: leave now or else. Trump, please sit down somewhere, like he's so tough. Do y'all hear this? Meanwhile, everybody's laughing at the United States like we're just some idiots, okay? President Trump gave Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro a strongly worded ultimatum as tensions flared with the South American nation, telling him to resign and leave or else. Now, during a call between Trump and Maduro, the socialist president demanded that he be allowed to maintain control of Venezuela's military if he paved the way for free elections there. Okay, this is what the Miami Herald has reported. And so anyway, hold on, these pop-ups. So anyway, Trump's refusal on both counts was said to be swift, as he followed up with an offer that Maduro may not be able to refuse. Leave now or else. That's the option. Now, the pair's talks quickly broke down with a U.S. poll Sunday lamenting on the ongoing war between the two sides is already deadlier than Vietnam for his state. They say, hold on, beloveds, all these pop-ups. Okay, they say, we have a war that's coming through fentanyl. okay, through opioids, through Coca-Cola. Y'all know the kind I'm talking about, not the kind you drink. Okay, U.S. Senator Dave McCormick said to Fox News Sunday, referring to the avalanche of illegal substances from Venezuela to the U.S. that Trump blames Maduro for and is trying to stop. So he says. But meanwhile, like I told you all on yesterday, how does it make sense that he's going after Maduro and the Venezuelans for smuggling in illegal substances? But at the same time, he's promised that he's going to pardon Juan Orlando Hernandez, the former president, okay, who basically went to prison for smuggling in illegal substances or being a conspirator. Okay, conspiracy to have tons and tons, 400 tons of Coca-Cola smuggled into the United States, and also weapons, mind you. Does that make any sense? Because it doesn't make any to me. Anyway, goes on to say that he's trying to stop Maduro. Says it killed 100,000 Americans last year, McCormick said of the rug trade. That's twice the number of people that died in 8 years of Vietnam. 4,000 Pennsylvanians, he says. After the phone call between Trump and Maduro failed to reach a conclusion, a positive one anyway, the U.S. president announced that he was closing the airspace around the South American country as America's largest warship, the USS Gerald Ford, and a Marine Expeditionary Unit capable of amphibious invasion floated offshore. Now, Trump also warned over the weekend that military operations inside Venezuela could begin very soon. Trump only told reporters Sunday that he spoke with Maduro recently, adding that, I wouldn't say it went well or badly. The tense phone call between Trump and Maduro reportedly took place late in the week of November the 16th, according to the New York Times, just days after Trump said he was open to talking with the dictator. Now, the call reportedly saw Trump's and Maduro's teams go over the details of what a surrender from the Venezuelan strongman would be like. Okay, given that the State Department has a bounty of $50 million on his head. Okay, Trump informed Maduro during their chat that Maduro, his wife, and son would be allowed to leave Venezuela safely, but they must do so immediately. Do y'all hear this? Okay, first Maduro asked for global amnesty for any crimes that he and his group had committed, and that was rejected. This is what a source familiar with the call told the Herald. They say second, they asked to retain control of the armed forces, similar to what happened in Nicaragua in '91 with Violeta Chamorro. Okay, now in return, they would allow free elections, according to the source. Now, that proposal was also rejected, while the demand that Maduro resign immediately was made. Now, the offer of amnesty was also extended to Maduro's top allies. Okay, after the breakdown, Trump ramped up pressure on Venezuela and warned that the U.S. would target drug trafficking networks by land soon. And by Saturday, he made an announcement on social media that Venezuela's airspace should be considered closed in its entirety. Okay, stoking fears of a looming war in the South American country of 28 million people. And it remains unclear how Trump intends to force the no-fly decree, as the U.S. has no authority over Venezuelan airspace. But by Sunday afternoon, they say a Flight Radar 24 map showed that there were no international planes flying over Venezuela. Flights to Aruba and Caraco near the Venezuelan coast appeared to be taking the long way around to avoid Venezuela. They say the moves came after the Federal Aviation Administration issued a safety warning about heightened military activity in and around Venezuela, causing several major airlines to suspend their flights there. Honey, okay, this is all so interesting. What do you all have to say? You all have to say it is about to go down. I want y'all to pay attention. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. Now, they do say that Venezuela retaliated by revoking operating rights to Iberia, TAP, Avianca, Latam, Colombia, Turkish Airlines, and GOL, further isolating the Latin American country. Maduro and his allies condemned the developments as a form of American colonial aggression, accusing the Trump administration of trying to use military force to seize the country's vast oil reserves. I told y'all Trump wants that oil, and that's exactly what it is, in my opinion. McCormick defended Trump's moves as the proper step to take against the narco terrorists operating in Venezuela. When President Trump was running, he and I both campaigned on the same thing, which was to secure the border, designate the cartels as narco terrorists, and use our military in a strategic, focused way to destroy this cartel infrastructure, McCormick said. I think that's what's happening with Venezuela. Now, the Secretary of the Navy also framed the fight against Venezuelans drug traffickers as a war, saying that drugs kill more Americans than we ever lost, okay, in wars. So I think at the end of the day, the president has correctly identified this as an attack on the country, which it is. Ooh, honey, that's a whole lot. What do y'all have to say about it? Okay, these people want Trump up out of here, and I could definitely see why. I mean, I want him out of there too. Okay. And also, let me not forget to tell you all this. So, Benjamin Netanyahu requests a pardon from Israeli president after Trump's letter urging clemency. Remember, I told you all that Trump was begging those people to pardon him? Well, he wrote a letter. He went as Herzog for a pardon as he stands trial on corruption and fraud charges. Weeks after President Donald Trump sent his own letter urging clemency. So Netanyahu emphasized concern over public division in his request. Now, while explicitly not admitting guilt, he wrote the pardon would allow him to reconcile the national rift and lower the flames in the arguments surrounding his trial. Herzog's office released a statement Sunday saying that it has received Netanyahu's formal pardon request, calling it extraordinary and acknowledging that it carries significant implications. They probably were thinking the nerve of you, honey. Okay. The request, in accordance with guidelines and procedures, was being transferred to the Pardons Department in the Ministry of Justice, which will gather opinions from relevant authorities on the matter. Okay, that's what the president's office said. So the opinions will then be sent to the legal advisor in the office of the president, who will formulate an additional opinion for Herzog. And after receiving all of the relevant opinions, the president will responsibly and sincerely consider the request. This is what Herzog's office said in a statement. Netanyahu is currently standing trial on charges of bribery, fraud, and breach of trust in 3 separate corruption cases. The trial, which began in 2020, marked the first time a sitting Israeli prime minister testified as a criminal defendant. Nefariousness always catches up with us. Earlier this month, Trump urged Herzog to consider fully pardoning Netanyahu in a letter. Trump wrote that Netanyahu has been a formidable and decisive leader for Israel in a time of war and has led Israel into a time of peace. Trump wrote that while he absolutely respects the independence of the Israeli judicial system, he believes the case against Netanyahu is a political unjustified prosecution. Trump had previously urged Herzog to pardon Netanyahu during a speech in the Israeli Knesset in October. Trump, mind your own business, okay? Leon said he got some nerve. Okay, he really does. At the end of the day, I don't know why anyone would listen to Trump. I mean, as if anything that he says carries weight. All right, honey, nobody with any amount of dignity or self-respect would take any advice or any request, would want to honor any request from Trump. I mean, I can't think of why. Okay, we're about to be out of here, but let me tell you all something. You all know how the media just be lying just to be lying? Now, you know that many people said they were not going to go Black Friday shopping and all that this year. People said they weren't going to be celebrating the holidays. They're going to boycott and all this stuff. So let me tell you how the media just lies so much. They try to make it as if everybody was out there just shopping for Black Friday, like it was all going down. Oh, the lies. Okay, the lies. And they got caught in it. Let's go. Let's go to it. He caught dead to right, just lying for no reason. Bless their hearts. Bless their hearts. They want it to look like it's not working.
Getting crazier by the second, and something amazing is happening. We know that for the last couple of years, people have been shopping online, but today, the shoppers I've spoken to, they actually want to be here in person, going in and out of the stores, trying on clothes, and of course, getting in on these deals. I am seeing signage like this everywhere. Sale signs.
27 people. I counted 27 people in that 26-second clip. So is the crazy in the room with us? The way that mainstream and legacy media is trying to hype up Black Friday and hype up corporate sales when they are down in the dirt because we're boycotting those bastards. In case you don't know, it's mass blackout right now. And we're not shopping corporate. We're not fucking participating in Black Friday unless it's small business only. But I keep seeing mainstream media sources that are trying to act like shopping is hopping, but it's not. See, this is corporations spending their money to drive a message to make you believe that the blackout's not happening, to make you believe that the boycott's not working, so that you'll capitulate and you'll go spend your money with the corporations who are taking their biggest hit right now, because Black Friday and the Black Friday weekend is one of the biggest shopping weekends of the entire year, and people are not shopping. The boycott is working. Hold the fucking line.
I mean, they just be out here lying, honey, just for the heck of it all. This is what they do. They cannot help themselves. But nobody was out there. Okay? Please pay attention. Nobody was out there. And they're really concerned and pressed because they know Christmas is coming and they know that sales were already down for Black Friday and they already saw how we did Target. So they just don't know what to think right now. They're just hoping and praying, honey. Pay attention.
The year again where these companies and the American government, who's been denying us justice all year, is reliant on consumer spending, but especially the Black community's consumer spending during the holidays to keep the American economy afloat. Now, take a look at this. Consumer spending drives much of the U.S. economy. There are countless jobs in production, distribution, and fulfilling goods that are supported by what and how consumers purchase. Recessions occur when economic activity slows down. When consumers don't spend, production decreases. So exactly how important is holiday shopping for the U.S. economy? Well, consumer spending makes up 70% of gross domestic product, with most taking place in November and December. According to the National Retail Federation, a fifth of all retail sales occur in the year's last 2 months. And what race is the largest consumer in the United States? Black people. We are the largest consumers and the most ignored in the United States. Black shoppers spent $1.4 trillion in 2019, and we are the lead consumers in holiday spending every single year. Black people, we get treated the worst by the American government, but we make them the richest. This is not a video to tell you to boycott holiday spending. This is a video to tell you why we as a Black community need to economically withdraw from the American government. It's also a video explaining to you that if you do want to see some type of justice in America, there has to be an economic portion attached to it. For example, this government loves to promote the 1963 I Have a Dream Martin Luther King, but they will never promote the 1968 Martin Luther King, who told us that no more dreaming. We need to get up and hit the government where it hurts, and he was supportive of economic withdrawal.
Exactly. Okay, exactly. Okay, and we already know what happened to him after that. Okay, please pay attention. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Black Friday boycott was so successful that retailers are now extending holiday sales until next week. They are nervous.
And they should be nervous. Just like I told you all, they are pressed. Okay, they see this is good because this is the way people show them who has the power. Okay, we can make you or we can break you, period.
You know how I know the boycott is working? The media is working overdrive to make us believe that our boycott did not work, that everybody is out spending a bunch of money. And I drove past stores today. You had parking everywhere. I've seen tons of creators on this app say they drove past all the regular stores, all the usual suspects, all of them are empty. I've only seen people really stand outside for that little swag bag, and a lot of people said they just left afterwards. So, which one is it? Be honest, how many people actually went outside for Black Friday sales?
Okay, nothing was popping. That's just all lies and BS. They're trying to keep hope alive, okay, like Jesse Jackson. That's all they're trying to do, is try to keep hope alive, honey, but it's not working. Okay, so with that all being said, I hope you all enjoyed the broadcast. I'm about to be out of here. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell, click the word all, so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, and I'm not sure if I'll be back today. Probably not, because I have some things to do. Unless there's some breaking news or something, okay? So anyway, I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hey, yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor. Sold all in my skin. God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther. Shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people. I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got